Hello, and welcome to Spirit Among Us. Yesterday we talked about having abilities, having the ability to do something, being good at something, but not having love isn't any good at all. We were looking in 1 Corinthians 13, where Paul essentially described his own ministry and stated that without love, his work would be useless. He'd be nothing more than a noisy gong, a clanging cymbal, just something that makes noise. Well, today I want to keep reading in chapter 13, but this time talking about how faith without love is no good. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 2. And if I have prophetic powers, and understand all mysteries, and all knowledge, and if I have all faith, so as to remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. So here Paul describes a man who has the ability to prophesy, prophetic powers, the ability to see into the future. And then he talks about understanding all mysteries and all knowledge. Think about that. Think about every mystery that's ever existed. Everything human beings have ever wondered about, one man knowing all of that, and knowing all knowledge as well. That's the definition of omniscience. Someone being omniscient. And then he talks about faith, saying even if you have faith as to remove mountains, if you have all faith, but have not love, you are nothing. So now what I want to point out here in these verses, though, is that he does not say or. He doesn't say, if I have prophetic powers, or if I understand all mysteries and all knowledge. He says, and. That means he's talking about a person that can do all of these things. Someone who has the ability to tell the future. Someone who is literally all-knowing in mysteries and all knowledge. And someone who has such great faith that they can remove mountains. Move any mountains that they want to. So Paul is setting up this theoretical example, saying that even if you could have this person that has all of this ability, that has all of this knowledge, understanding, and great faith, if he does not have love, he is nothing. So that's quite a big statement right there. And I want to hone in a little more on faith by looking at James chapter 2, verses 14 through 17. They say this: What good is it, my brothers, if someone says he has faith but does not have works? Can that faith save him? If a brother or sister is poorly clothed and lacking in daily food, and one of you says to them, Go in peace, be warmed and filled, without giving them the things needed for the body, what good is that? So also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. So here James asks the question about faith. Again, he's talking about an example of someone who has great faith. They have faith that God is able to provide, that God will provide for the person that is hungry, for the person that is lacking. But they don't have love. They're missing that. They're missing the works that are accompanied by a true care for these people. What James is getting at is that having real faith is accompanied by works, because that faith will lead us to do something. Because when we have faith in a God of love, that leads us to love others. It leads us to love Him first and foremost, but then to truly care about the people around us, to want to reach out to them and want to provide for them. So someone who really had faith and love would also have the works to provide for the person that is in need. And he concludes by saying, faith by itself, if it doesn't have works, is dead. And here he's talking about works that are motivated by love. So looking at these two examples, we can see that faith on its own, if faith is cut off and just separated from everything else, if someone just has faith, that is no good. That's no help, no benefit to anyone else. Paul goes as far as to say that even if he had all faith, so as to remove mountains, if he didn't have love, he is nothing. So in our lives, what we can take from these two groups of verses here is that God has called us all not only to just have faith, but to have great faith and love. Thank you for watching, and God bless.